The phone call came at 10:03 p.m., a scream shattering the quiet of my Seattle kitchen. They killed Marcus. Oh God, Ms. Ellis, they shot him. My daughter's best friend, Kayla, was sobbing, her words a blade through my heart. My son, Marcus Grant, 21, was dead, gunned down by police in Atlanta's Vine City, 4 miles from where he'd been joking with Kayla over wings at JR Crickets. I'm Vivian Ellis, 50, a retired Green Beret who traded desert ops for a quiet life teaching yoga. My hands, once steady under gunfire, dropped the teapot, ceramic shards scattering like my thoughts. Marcus, my only child, a Morehouse student with a laugh that lit rooms, was gone. I drove 2,700 miles from Seattle to Atlanta, my mind a storm of memories. Marcus at 10, sketching superheroes, promising to save the world. By 2 a.m., I reached the crime scene on Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, yellow tape glinting under streetlights. Kayla, 20, her eyes red, clung to me, recounting the nightmare. 3 officers, Nathan Cole, Javier Ruiz, and Ryan Holt, stopped Marcus's Toyota for a broken taillight. Their voices, thick with venom, called him boy and worse, accusing him of looking suspicious. Kayla's phone caught it, Marcus, hands up, saying, I'm just driving her home, before 8 shots tore through him, blood pooling 10 feet from the car. Cole smirked, Ruiz turned away, Holt blocked his camera. My chest tightened, rage and grief colliding. I'd taught Marcus to survive. Keep your voice low, hands visible, don't argue. Had I armed him with surrender instead of strength? As a black mother, I knew racism's shadow, but I'd hoped my sacrifices, nights in Kandahar, scars from Fallujah, would shield him. I hugged Kayla, her tears soaking my jacket, and whispered, they'll answer for this. My Green Beret instincts flared, a fire I'd doused for years. Back at my hotel, I opened a locked duffel, fingers tracing a bronze star from 2004. Marcus's death wasn't a mistake. It was a system that saw black skin as a threat. Kayla, braving her fear, organized a vigil at Woodruff Park, 3 miles away, posting Marcus's video online. By dusk, 300 people gathered, candles flickering, signs reading, Marcus was enough. I stood at the crowd's edge, watching police hover, hands on belts, eyeing us like prey. A father's voice cracked, my boy's next if this don't change. My guilt surged, had I been too silent, raising Marcus to navigate a world that hated him? I flashed back to our last call, him laughing about a sociology paper, saying, Ma, I'm gonna fix this mess. I chuckled, proud. Now, I felt the sting of promises broken. Kayla's video showed Cole's cold eyes, Ruiz's indifference, Holt's complicity. I saved it to a flash drive, my training kicking in. In my hotel room, I set up a laptop, contacting Shade, a former intelligence analyst from my Iraq unit. My son's gone, I typed. Find their dirt. Shade replied, give me 48 hours. Data poured in, 10 black men, ages 18 to 25, killed in Atlanta's West Side over 4 years, all non-compliant. No evidence, no charges. My heart sank, picturing Marcus at 16, asking at Piedmont Park why police stared at him. Some see skin, not soul, I'd said, shielding him. Now, I saw my words as half-lies. Shade uncovered a Rapid Response Protocol, RRP, funded by Commissioner Elaine Warner in Savannah, 250 miles away, with $4 million. It trained officers to act on instinct, turning fear into death sentences. Kayla texted, her voice fierce, hospital records showed no drugs, bullets in Marcus's back. You're my ma now, she wrote, our bond forged in loss. I pinned Marcus's Morehouse cap to my wall, his essay on equality beside it, justice is when no one dies for being. For every American who's felt biases bite, this was our war. Shade sent a micro camera, 1 inch wide, for covert recording. I taped it to my glasses, capturing Cole at a precinct meeting in West End, 5 miles away, his smirk unchanged. Shade's data named Warner as RRP's architect, a 55-year-old politico with a smile for cameras and a pen for death warrants. Her emails, leaked by Shade, showed her dismissing complaints as noise. My anger flared. She wasn't just a bureaucrat, she was the system's pulse, pumping poison through men like coal. I recalled Marcus at 12, drawing at Centennial Olympic Park, asking, "Why do some folks hate us?" I'd said, "Ignorance, not you." Now, I saw my softness as a trap. The vigil grew, Kayla's voice booming, Marcus deserved to live. Social media exploded, #JusticeForMarcus trending, the video hitting 1 million views. I watched, pride battling rage. This was bigger than us, a cry for black boys to breathe free. My camera caught Warner at a Savannah gala, 250 miles south, toasting public safety. Her calm fueled my fire. I typed to Shade, names, budgets, orders. As dawn broke, I stood by Marcus's cap, whispering, "I'm fighting, son." My war wasn't just for justice, it was for every stolen dream, every mother's scream, every life erased by a system that called us threats. I was Vivian Ellis, mother, soldier, and now, the storm they'd never see coming. My son Marcus was gone, his blood still staining Atlanta's Vine City pavement, and I, Vivian Ellis, stood in the attic of my Seattle rental, a 50-year-old mother whose Green Beret past roared back to life. The grief was a weight I carried in my chest, heavy as the rucksacks I'd hauled through Kandahar, but it didn't crush me, it forged me. Marcus's Morehouse cap hung on a nail above my folding table, its blue fabric a reminder of his dream to heal a broken world. I couldn't hold him anymore, but I could hold the system that killed him to account. My fingers, scarred from years of combat, typed furiously on a laptop, reconnecting with Shade, my old intelligence analyst from Iraq. "Dig into Atlanta PD's rapid response protocol," I wrote, my heart pounding with a soldier's focus. Shade's reply came fast, "It's a hydra, Viv. Give me 24 hours. I leaned back, staring at a map of Atlanta pinned to the wall, red ink circling Joseph E. Boone Boulevard where Marcus fell. My mind flashed to our last dinner, 2 months ago at Seattle's Pike Place Market, 2,700 miles away. Marcus, 21, had grinned over clam chowder, saying, "Ma, I'm writing a paper on systemic bias. It's gotta change." I'd nodded, proud, but hadn't warned him enough about the world's cruelty. Guilt gnawed at me, had my silence as a black mother, teaching him to comply, made him a target? Shade's data arrived at midnight, a digital lifeline. 10 black men, ages 18 to 25, killed in Atlanta's west side over 4 years, all under the Rapid Response Protocol, RRP, a $4 million program funded by Commissioner Elaine Warner in Savannah, 250 miles southeast. The reports were sterile, calling victims non-compliant, but I saw Marcus in every name, his laughter silenced by fear dressed as law. Warner, 55, wasn't just a bureaucrat, she was the architect of a doctrine that turned officers into executioners. Shade traced her to a Savannah conference, her speeches on urban safety masking a policy that saw black lives as threats. My anger surged, picturing her smiling for cameras while mothers like me buried sons. I recalled Marcus at 14, sketching protests at Oakland's Lake Merritt, 800 miles from Seattle, asking, "Why do they keep doing this to us?" I'd said, "Some hearts are closed, but yours isn't." Now, I wondered if my optimism had blinded him to danger. I needed more than data. Kayla, Marcus's friend, called, her voice fierce despite sleepless nights. "The vigil's growing, Ms. Ellis. We're at 500 people now." She'd moved it to Atlanta's Centennial Olympic Park, 5 miles from Vine City, her courage a spark in the dark. I drove back to Atlanta, 2,700 miles in 2 days, meeting Kayla at a diner on Peachtree Street, 4 miles away. Her eyes, red but defiant, met mine. "They're threatening me online, calling me a snitch," she said, sliding over hospital records. Marcus's wounds were all in his back, no drugs in his system. I gripped her hand, feeling her tremble. "You're my daughter now, Kayla. Keep fighting." Her video of Marcus's death, now at 2 million views, showed Nathan Cole's smirk, Javier Ruiz's indifference, Ryan Holt's silence. I saved it to a new drive, my soldiers mind mapping their weaknesses. My attic became a war room, not just for Marcus but for every stolen life. I taped photos of the 10 victims beside Marcus's essay. Justice is a world where skin doesn't sentence you. Shade sent a new tool, a micro-drone, 1 foot wide, for nighttime surveillance. I flew it over Atlanta's 3rd precinct, 3 miles from Woodruff Park, capturing Cole's swagger, Ruiz's late-night meetings, Holt's nervous glances. Their records were damning. Cole, 40, had 3 complaints, including a 2017 beating. Ruiz, 45, caused a 2019 death report misfiled. Holt, 33, falsified a 2020 arrest, no consequences. All trained under RRP at a facility in Decatur, 7 miles east, funded by Warner's budget. I pictured Warner in her Savannah office, 250 miles away, signing off on death with a fountain pen, her calm a slap to every grieving parent. My heart ached, recalling Marcus at 17, debating racism at a Seattle library, 10 miles from home. "Ma, why don't they see us as human?" I'd said, "Some choose not to." Now, I saw my restraint as a betrayal. Kayla's vigils sparked protests across Atlanta, spilling onto Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, 6 miles from Vine City. Signs read, "End RRP," and hashtag Justice for Marcus trended nationwide. I watched on my laptop, pride swelling for Kayla's fire, but fear gripped me. She was a target now. Anonymous messages called her a race traitor, her car keyed outside her dorm. I texted her, "Stay sharp, stay safe." She replied, "For Marcus, I won't stop." Her resolve mirrored mine, but I worried my fight would cost her, too. I flashed back to a mission in Fallujah, 2004, where I'd saved a squad but lost a friend. Would justice for Marcus demand another sacrifice? I pushed the thought away, focusing on Warner. Shade hacked her emails, revealing she'd met Cole's superiors in Savannah, discussing containment of protests. Warner wasn't just funding RRP, she was shielding its enforcers, men like Cole, whose cold eyes haunted Kayla's video. I needed eyes inside. Shade connected me to Raven, a retired Atlanta cop who'd quit over RRP's brutality. We met at a coffee shop in Midtown, 4 miles from the precinct, his hands shaking as he shared training manuals. "They teach you to see black kids as threats," he whispered. Cole loved it. I recorded him with my micro camera, my heart racing. Raven's guilt echoed mine. Had we both enabled this by staying quiet? I recalled Marcus at 19, volunteering at a Chicago shelter, 900 miles away, saying, "Ma, helping feels right." I'd beamed, but hadn't warned him about systems that punished kindness. My attic wall grew crowded, victim photos, RRP budgets, Warner's headshot. I wasn't just a mother anymore, I was a soldier dismantling a machine that devoured black lives. A new idea struck, I'd infiltrate an RRP seminar. Posing as a journalist, I signed up for a session in Decatur, 7 miles from Vine City, my microcamera hidden in a brooch. Cole was there, smirking as instructors preached, "Neutralize threats fast." My stomach churned. This wasn't training, it was programming. I recorded it all, my hands steady despite rage. Back in my attic, I watched the footage, seeing Cole nod at instinct over evidence. Warner's doctrine wasn't just policy, it was a license to kill. I flashed to Marcus at 20, reading Malcolm X at Portland's Powell's Books, 170 miles from Seattle, saying, "Ma, truth changes things." I'd agreed, but hadn't fought hard enough for his truth. Now, I would. Kayla called, her voice breaking. They slashed my tires. I drove to Atlanta again, meeting her at Morehouse's campus, 2 miles away. You're not alone, I said, hugging her. Her eyes, Marcus's eyes, burned with purpose. We're planning a march, she said. I nodded, pride battling fear. My war room, lit by a flickering bulb, held Marcus's cap like a relic. I whispered, I'm coming for them, son. For every American who's felt racism's sting, my fight was theirs, a mother's love-turned weapon, aimed at a system that dared call my son a threat. Shade's next message pinged, Warner's meeting chiefs tomorrow. Want the address? I typed, yes. My awakening wasn't just personal, it was a reckoning for a nation that owed Marcus, and countless others, a better dawn. My fight for Marcus, my 21-year-old son gunned down in Atlanta's Vine City, had become a war against a system that branded black lives as threats. I, Vivian Ellis, a 50-year-old former Green Beret, stood in my Seattle attic, the hum of my laptop a lifeline to truth. Marcus's Morehouse cap, pinned above my map of Atlanta, was a beacon, his essay on equality urging me forward. Justice is when no one fears their skin. The Rapid Response Protocol, RRP. A $4 million program funded by Commissioner Elaine Warner in Savannah, 250 miles from Atlanta, was the poison that killed him. My micro-camera footage from a Decatur seminar, 7 miles from where Marcus fell, showed Officer Nathan Cole nodding at "neutralize fast," a doctrine that turned fear into death. Warner wasn't just a name on a budget, she was the puppet master, her policies shielding men like Cole, Javier Ruiz, and Ryan Holt, who shot Marcus 8 times without cause. My heart ached, picturing Marcus at 18, debating at a Denver library, 1,400 miles away, saying, "Ma, why do laws protect some but not us?" I'd said, they're broken, but we'll fix them. Now, I saw my hope as a lie that left him vulnerable. Shade, my Iraq-era analyst, sent fresh data. RRP wasn't just Atlanta's, it was a pilot for Georgia, with Warner eyeing national rollout. Her emails, hacked from a Savannah server, showed her dismissing Marcus's death as collateral noise. My anger flared, imagining her in her polished office, 250 miles away, sipping coffee while mothers like me buried sons. I dug deeper, cross-referencing Shade's files. Cole, 40, had 4 complaints, a 2016 chokehold, a 2019 beating, all black victims, no charges. Ruiz, 45, shoved a 70-year-old in 2018, causing a stroke, report lost. Holt, 33, broke a teen's jaw in 2020, case dismissed. All trained at Decatur's RRP facility, 7 miles east, where instructors preached instinct over evidence. I taped their photos beside Marcus's, my attic a shrine to truth. Had I taught Marcus to trust a system that betrayed him? I recalled our hike in Phoenix's Camelback Mountain, 2,100 miles from Seattle, him at 19 asking, why do cops stop me more? I'd said, it's not you, it's them. Now, my words felt hollow. Kayla, Marcus's friend, was a firebrand, her vigils at Centennial Olympic Park, 5 miles from Vine City, now drawing 1,000 people. Protests erupted on Peachtree Street, 4 miles away, with chants of "End RRP." Kayla's texts were urgent, they hacked my email, sent threats. I flew to Atlanta, 2,700 miles, meeting her at a Clark Atlanta University cafe, 2 miles from the precinct. Her eyes, fierce but tired, met mine. I'm scared, Ms. Ellis, but Marcus deserves this. I hugged her, feeling her strength. You're unstoppable, Kayla. Her video of Marcus's death hit 5 million views, Cole's smirk a national outrage. Threats escalated, her dorm window smashed, notes calling her a snitch. My guilt surged, was my fight endangering her? I flashed to a Baghdad mission, 2003, where my silence cost a civilian's life. I wouldn't let Kayla pay for my war. I needed inside access. Raven, the ex-cop, met me at a Miami bookstore, 600 miles from Atlanta, his voice low. Warner's RRP is a machine. Cole's their star, untouchable. He shared a leaked memo. Warner ordered minimal transparency on shootings. My microcamera, hidden in a pen, recorded his fear. Raven's eyes mirrored my shame. Had we both enabled this by not speaking sooner? I recalled Marcus at 20, tutoring kids in St. Louis, 500 miles from Atlanta, saying, "Ma, change starts small." I'd agreed, but hadn't fought the big battles. Now, I would. Shade sent drone footage from Decatur, 7 miles away, showing Warner visiting the facility, her smile chilling. She wasn't just funding RRP, she was its soul, a 55-year-old strategist who saw black communities as battlegrounds. Her speeches, streamed from Savannah, 250 miles away, praised order, but her budgets bled lives. A new plan formed. I'd disrupt RRP's funding. I posed as a donor at a Savannah gala, 250 miles from Atlanta, my microcamera capturing Warner's toast to "safe cities." Her eyes, cold behind her smile, scanned the room like a general. I overheard her tell a chief, "Protests are noise. Control the narrative." My heart raced. She was Marcus's true killer, her pen deadlier than Cole's trigger. I sent Shade the footage, asking for donor lists. He found $2 million from private firms tied to Warner's allies, funneled through Secure Georgia. My anger mixed with resolve. I'd choke their machine. I recalled Marcus at 21, at a New Orleans jazz fest, 500 miles from Atlanta, saying, "Ma, music's freedom." I'd smiled, but hadn't freed him from this system. Kayla's march, planned for Atlanta's Piedmont Park, 6 miles from Vine City, drew 2,000 supporters. I watched on live stream, pride swelling as she spoke. Marcus was my brother. He's yours too. Police lined the edges, hands on belts, Cole among them. Threats intensified. Kayla's phone was cloned, her bank account frozen. I drove to Atlanta, meeting her at a safe house in Grant Park, 3 miles away. "You're not alone," I said, handing her a burner phone. Her tears fell, but she nodded. For Marcus. My fear for her grew, echoing a Kabul night where I'd lost a teammate to arrogance. I wouldn't lose Kayla to mine. I launched a new tactic, a whistleblower hotline, encrypted via Shade's network. Tips flooded in, officers named, videos shared. One showed Ruiz at a 2019 stop, laughing as a man begged. My attic wall grew, 15 victims now, all black, all RRP. Warner's machine wasn't just Atlanta's, it was a blueprint for control. I pictured her in Savannah, 250 miles away, plotting to silence us. My guilt deepened. Had I raised Marcus to believe in a lie? I recalled him at 17, at a Chicago rally, 900 miles away, saying, "Ma, we gotta speak up." I'd said, "Careful, son." Now, I spoke for him. Raven called, voice shaking, "They're watching me." I met him in Orlando, 400 miles from Atlanta, my camera rolling. "Warner's got spies in every precinct," he said. I nodded, my soldier's mind mapping her network. Warner wasn't just a villain, she was a system, her calm a mask for power. I flashed to Marcus at 20, at a Seattle book club, 2,700 miles away, reading Baldwin, "Ma, truth hurts, but it heals." I'd agreed, but hadn't wielded truth's blade. Now, I sharpened it. My hotline caught a tip. Warner met Cole in Decatur, 7 miles away, promising protection. My resolve hardened. This wasn't just for Marcus, but for every black life she'd erased. I whispered to his cap, "I'm tearing it down, son." For every American who's felt racism's weight, my fight was a promise: no more silence, no more shadows, only truth's unrelenting light. My son Marcus was gone, his life stolen by a system that saw his black skin as a death sentence, and I, Vivian Ellis, a 50-year-old former Green Beret, was ready to make that system confess. In my Seattle attic, Marcus's Morehouse cap hung like a battle flag, his words, justice is when no one fears their skin, driving me forward. The Rapid Response Protocol, RRP. Funded by Commissioner Elaine Warner in Savannah, 250 miles from Atlanta, had armed officers Nathan Cole, Javier Ruiz, and Ryan Holt to kill my son with 8 shots on Joseph E. Boone Boulevard. My investigation, drone footage, whistleblower tips, hacked emails, had exposed Warner's machine, but exposure wasn't enough. I needed truth, raw and undeniable, from the men who pulled the triggers. My heart carried Marcus's laughter from our last hike in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park, 800 miles from Seattle, where he'd said, "Ma, I want a world where we're free." I'd promised to fight for it, but hadn't fought hard enough. Now, I'd keep that promise, not with vengeance but with justice's unrelenting light. I crafted a plan, my Green Beret precision guiding every move. Shade, my Iraq analyst, sent audio clips of Marcus's final words, "I'm just driving her home," pulled from Kayla's video. I spliced them with static, making them haunt like memories, and planted them in the officers' lives. Cole got a call at 2 a.m., Marcus's voice echoing through his Atlanta landline, 2,700 miles from my attic. Ruiz found the clip on his car's Bluetooth indicator, 7 miles from Vine City, his hands shaking. Holt's TV in Midtown, 4 miles away, flickered with Marcus's plea, unprompted. I didn't hack, I used their paranoia, learned from Raven's tips about their habits. My fingers trembled, recalling Marcus at 19, sketching at Chicago's Millennium Park, 900 miles away, saying, "Ma, art tells truth." I'd nodded, but hadn't wielded truth's blade. Now, I carved their guilt with it. The officers unraveled. Shade's drone caught Cole pacing his porch, Ruiz checking locks, Holt taping his webcam. My hotline, flooded with tips, revealed Cole's 2021 threat to a witness, Ruiz's 2019 bribe to silence a family, Holt's 2020 report falsification. Warner, in Savannah, 250 miles away, sensed the heat. Shade hacked her texts, contained Cole. He's a liability. She wasn't just a funder, she was a general, sacrificing pawns to save her empire. My anger surged, picturing her dismissing Marcus's death as noise. I recalled him at 20, at a Miami book club, 600 miles from Atlanta, saying, "Ma, words can change laws." I'd agreed, but hadn't changed enough. Now, I'd make her words betray her. I lured the officers to a derelict warehouse in Charlotte's Noda district, 230 miles from Atlanta, with an encrypted text, "Your secrets are out. Come alone, or they're public." The 12,000 square foot space, rusted girders looming, was rigged with 4 hidden cameras, 2 feet high. I stood in shadows, my black tactical jacket blending with the dark, my heart steady as in Fallujah. Cole arrived at 1 a.m., his swagger gone. Ruiz followed, eyes darting. Holt hesitated, clutching his phone. My voice cut through, "Sit, or the world hears Marcus." A screen lit up, looping Kayla's video, Marcus's hands raised, Cole's smirk, 8 shots. Cole sneered, "You're nothing." I played their audio clips, Marcus's voice mingling with their lies. Ruiz flinched, Holt stared at the floor. For 3 hours, I questioned, my tone calm but unyielding. "Why Marcus?" I asked Cole. He muttered, he looked defiant. I showed hospital records, back wounds, no threat. Cole's eyes dropped. "I didn't see a weapon," he admitted, voice cracking. Ruiz confessed, "I changed the report." "Orders." Holt whispered, "Warner said clean it up." My cameras rolled, capturing every word, every twitch. My heart ached, picturing Marcus's Morehouse graduation, planned for 2024, 2 years away. I whispered, "This is for you, son." I wasn't alone in this fight. Kayla, 20, faced relentless threats, her Atlanta dorm vandalized, her phone hacked with slurs. She called, voice shaking. "They want me silent, Ms. Ellis." I flew to Atlanta, 2,700 miles, meeting her at a safe house in Inman Park, 3 miles from Vine City. "You're my strength," I said, handing her an encrypted drive with backups. Her eyes, Marcus's eyes, burned. "I'm marching tomorrow," she said. Her Piedmont Park rally, 6 miles away, drew 3,000, chants of "justice for Marcus" shaking the city. I watched online, pride battling fear. Kayla was my daughter now, but I feared my war would cost her. I recalled a Kabul mission, 2004, where my hesitation lost a friend. I wouldn't hesitate now. I sent the confessions to the Department of Justice, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and Kayla's activist network, 3 encrypted drives mailed from Charlotte, 230 miles away. A note read, "This is America's truth." The videos hit the internet at dawn, 10 million views by noon. Cole, Ruiz, and Holt were suspended, their faces national infamy. Warner's texts, leaked by Shade, showed her panic. "Bury this." She wasn't just a villain, she was the system's heart, pumping lies to protect her power. My guilt surged. Had I raised Marcus to believe in a lie? I recalled him at 17, at a New Orleans rally, 500 miles away, saying, "Ma, we gotta fight." I'd said, "Stay safe." Now, I fought for him. I mentored a new ally, Tasha, 23, a Morehouse student at Kayla's rally. We met at a Cabbagetown diner, 2 miles from Piedmont Park. "Keep this alive," I said, giving her a burner phone with Shade's contacts. Tasha's resolve mirrored Marcus's, her voice firm, "For him, I will." My heart swelled, but fear lingered. Would she face Kayla's threats? I recalled Marcus at 21, at a Boston poetry slam, 1,000 miles away, saying, "Ma, words are weapons." I'd laughed, but hadn't armed him enough. Now, I armed Tasha with truth. A new move, I leaked Warner's donor list to ProPublica, exposing $3 million from security firms tied to RRP. The DOJ raided Atlanta's 3rd Precinct, 3 miles from Vine City, seizing RRP files. Warner, in Savannah, 250 miles away, canceled appearances, her empire cracking. My attic, lit by Marcus's cap, was quiet. I whispered, "We're close, son." Kayla called, her march now 5,000 strong, "They're scared, Ms. Ellis." I smiled, but fear gripped me. Warner's reach was long. I recalled a Baghdad night, 2003, where truth cost lives. Would it cost Kayla's? Tasha's? I pushed the thought away, my soldier's mind focused. Warner wasn't just a name, she was every law that failed Marcus, every lie that buried him. For every American who's felt racism's sting, my reckoning was theirs, a mother's grief turned blade, cutting through a system that dared erase my son. I typed to Shade, "Warner's next." My fight wasn't over, it was igniting a nation to see Marcus, and every black life, as enough. My son Marcus was gone, his life stolen by a system that saw his black skin as a threat, but I, Vivian Ellis, a 50-year-old former Green Beret, had forced that system to face its sins. The confessions of officers Nathan Cole, Javier Ruiz, and Ryan Holt, captured in a Charlotte warehouse 230 miles from Atlanta, had shattered the silence. Their admissions, "I didn't see a weapon, I changed the report," Warner said, "Clean it up," a cry heard across America. In my Seattle attic, Marcus's Morehouse cap hung above my laptop, his essay pinned beside it, "Justice is when no one fears their skin." The Rapid Response Protocol, RRP, funded by Commissioner Elaine Warner in Savannah, 250 miles from where Marcus fell, was collapsing, its architect unmasked. My heart held Marcus's voice from our last video call, 4 months ago from New Orleans's French Quarter, 500 miles away, saying, "Ma, I'm gonna show the world we're enough." I'd promised to cheer him on, but hadn't protected him from a world that feared his light. Now, my fight had sparked a revolution, not just for Marcus but for every black life erased by hate dressed as order. The confession videos, sent to the Department of Justice, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and Kayla's activist network, reached 25 million views in a week. Cole, Ruiz, and Holt faced trial, their badges gone, their names etched in infamy. The DOJ stormed Atlanta's 3rd precinct, 3 miles from Vine City, uncovering 20 hidden shootings, all black victims, all RRP. Warner, in Savannah, 250 miles away, was ousted, her secure Georgia donors scattering. Shade's leaks caught her deleting emails, her composure fracturing. She wasn't just a bureaucrat, she was the system's architect, her policies a death warrant for black youth. My grief surged, recalling Marcus at 19, at a Chicago open mic, 900 miles away, saying, "Ma, poetry's my protest." I'd smiled, but hadn't protested enough. Now, his death was rewriting history. Kayla, 20, was a beacon, her Piedmont Park rallies, 6 miles from Vine City, growing to 12,000. Threats persisted, her Atlanta phone lines cut, her mailbox stuffed with slurs, but she stood unbowed. I met her at a Vine City community garden, 2 miles away, her hands dirty from planting. "Marcus is in these roots," she said, showing me a youth reform plan. I hugged her, my daughter by heart, but fear gnawed, was my war her cross. I recalled a Kandahar dawn, 2003, where my victory cost a teammate. I wouldn't let Kayla break. Tasha, 23, my Morehouse mentor, expanded the fight, her podcast from Clark, Atlanta, 2 miles away, reaching 600,000 listeners with victim stories. I texted her from Seattle, 2,700 miles away, "You're his voice." She replied, "And yours, Ms. Ellis." My pride was fierce, but guilt lingered. Had I taught Marcus to trust a system that failed him? The Marcus Grant Act, named for my son's birth name, passed Congress, 700 miles from Atlanta, mandating independent police oversight, tamper-proof body cams, and 48-hour shooting probes. I watched the D.C. vote online, tears falling as a Seattle congresswoman, 2,700 miles away, quoted Marcus, "Justice is when no one dies for being." Police lobbies fought, calling it divisive, but 60,000 signatures and rallies in Miami, 600 miles away, prevailed. Signed on Marcus's would-be graduation day, 2025, it was his legacy. I whispered to his cap, "You changed it, son." For 25 to 55-year-olds, this was a lifeline, a black boy's death birthing hope. A sculpture rose in Vine City, 3 miles from Piedmont Park, Marcus's silhouette 5 feet tall in bronze, hands raised. Crafted by a 27-year-old from St. Louis, 500 miles away, it drew 2,000 pilgrims monthly, letters tucked at its base, "You were seen." A new festival, Marcus's Harmony, a music event at Atlanta's Grant Park, 4 miles away, launched by Kayla and Tasha, united 3,000 artists, their songs echoing Marcus's dream. I streamed it, Tasha's guitar strumming, "Our Skin's No Crime." My heart soared, but I feared Warner's reach. Shade traced her to a D.C. think tank, 700 miles away, advising on urban control. Her shadow lingered, unbowed. I vanished the night the act passed, my Seattle rental bear, a rosemary sprig on the counter, a note, "Justice blooms where silence falls." No trace, no bank cards, no cameras. The DOJ called me "Justice's Shadow" in a sealed report. I wasn't hiding, I was freeing Kayla, Tasha, and others to lead. Kayla's youth program in West End, 2 miles from Vine City, trained 300 teens, her voice a clarion. Tasha's podcast sparked a Dallas reform, 800 miles away. I watched, my soldier's heart calm. I recalled Marcus at 17, at a San Francisco march, 800 miles away, saying, "Ma, we're stronger together." I'd agreed, but hadn't united enough. Now, I stepped aside, their strength my victory. A granite marker appeared in Vine City, 2 feet wide, at Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, "Live without fighting to be human." No maker, just a quiet dawn's truth. Locals named it Marcus's Hope, drivers pausing, kids leaving sketches. Shade sent a photo, my tears falling wherever I was. Marcus's Unity, an annual 5K in Centennial Olympic Park, 5 miles away, raised $400,000 for reform, 6,000 runners singing, No More Fear. Kayla and Tasha led, their bond a shield against racism. For audiences, this was redemption, community healing pain into power. Warner's empire didn't die. A New York Times exposé, using my leaks, tied her to 15 police programs, her influence stubborn. My guilt flickered, had I stopped enough? I recalled Marcus at 21, at a Boston rally, 1,000 miles away, saying, Ma, truth's a seed. He was right. The marker, sculpture, act, run, festival, they grew from his seed, outliving us. I erased Vivian Ellis, my Green Beret skills wiping my trail. Social media hummed hashtag Vivian endures, my absence a legend. A Los Angeles writer, 2,100 miles away, said, she didn't disappear, she became us. The Marcus Grant Act transformed lives. In Philadelphia, 600 miles away, a 2026 shooting triggered a swift probe, restoring trust. In Phoenix, 2,100 miles away, body cams saved a teen. Kayla's program reached schools in Denver, 1,400 miles away. Tasha's podcast birthed a Chicago law, 900 miles away. My journey taught me, racism thrives in silence, but truth, wielded with love, dismantles it. I learned a mother's grief is a weapon, not a wound, community is stronger than any badge, and justice isn't a moment, it's a movement. Marcus's laughter, his dreams, live in every step forward. If you faced racial profiling, police brutality, or held a secret past like mine, how would you fight for the best outcome? Would you speak, act, or build, knowing one voice can spark a nation's awakening? I whispered, you're enough, son, my fight a vow, no black life will fade unseen, unvalued, or unloved.